Well, welcome to all, particularly to all the new subscribers that I've picked up over the Christmas period. And it would be nice to start off with a bit of good news, but unfortunately not. Thanks to Robert. Robert sent me a link to an article that at first I wasn't sure I could believe, which was one of a Huffington Post editor by the name of Emily McCombs, who apparently tweeted out just before the new year that her New Year's resolution, or one of them, was that she wanted to kill all men. Now, this has been covered by other people, by news outlets, not large ones, not MSM. They've ignored it completely, of course. And it's also been covered by people like MGTOW philosopher here on YouTube. But I'm going to briefly go through an article written by Emily Wants to Kill All Men McCombs in her parents section of Huffington Post, and the title is "I don't know if I can raise a good man." Well, I'm not sure you can either, Emily. If you want to kill all men, what are you raising him for? Like a farmer raises a pig so you can butcher him at a later date for the sausages and the bacon? Subheading: trying to raise a feminist has always been a battle. He's a 6-year-old boy. Maybe he doesn't want to be a feminist. Anyway. And just before the article proper, there's a large photo of an angry looking woman with a little placard she's holding up saying, "Me too." Women are speaking up about both the giant tragedies and the daily indignities that accompany their existence, is a subheading to the photo. Yeah, it makes it sound like this self-entitled Queen of Sheba syndrome, new generation of modern women. They behave as if they're living in a concentration camp, as if they're part of the Gulag archipelago, as if they're living in the fucking Congo, where rape is used as a weapon of war. They are the most spoilt, greedy generation of women that have ever existed, and they almost all of what they see around them to the endeavours, the brilliance and the ingenuity of men. You see, I'm going hoarse already with anger. Anyway, she says, "I always thought it would be worse to have a girl. What, are you as sexist against them as you are against men, and you want to kill all the girls' fathers?" Between the sexual assaults, there you go, and the body issues alone, I've been reliving the shit show of female adolescence on my therapist's couch. Yeah, I think you need one. Long enough to know what it entails. When I became the mother of a son, I thought I'd dodged a bullet. All I had to do, I figured, was make sure he never raped anybody and I'd be okay. Imagine that. Make sure he never rapes anybody. What do you say to that? She is, by the way, a single mother, and she sounds like a pretty paranoid person to me. These days, that seems like a pretty tall order. So what is she saying, that the majority of men are rapists? She clearly doesn't know anything about the statistics on the subject. Rape is still a very rare crime. And when it comes to the rape of children, I never get tired of quoting the 2008 to 2009 Bureau of Justice figures that show that 95% of sexual victimizations carried out in juvenile facilities in the United States against boys were committed by female staff members, even though they only comprised 42% of staff members. So where's the real rape epidemic then? Anyway, she continues, "It's a strange moment in the history of gender politics, triggered by Harvey Weinstein's..." Oh, there you go. Enough of that. Women are speaking up about the giant tragedies, right? We've done this one. Women's rage, no, feminist hysteria, has become a breathing creature with teeth large enough to demand men take notice. Well, men have taken notice. Men are sick and tired of it, and they're telling women en masse all the time to fuck off. The whole system teeters on its edge as we hold our breath, waiting to see whether it will fail or simply settle back into place. She's almost hysterical here. It's an even stranger moment to be raising a son. Amid all the rage and the pain, society naturally finds a sliver of hope in the next generation. A chorus has risen. Raise good men. We'll teach our sons to be better. And then we carefully pick up our parenting battles while a gender war rages outside our doors. Stick her in the fucking Congo with real victims. Of course, she says, we all want to raise feminist sons. There's the arrogance kicking in. She now thinks she speaks for all women, all mothers, and she speaks for all fathers. These are the fathers, of course, as men that she apparently wants to kill. I wrote an article, link there, a few months ago detailing the ways I try to do just that, feminise his son that is. But my efforts are starting to seem like grains of sand against a steady wave crash of misogyny and rape. You aren't living in a rape culture. In my previous article I wrote, in my sweat-soaked, sit-straight-up-in-bed feminist nightmares, I can imagine a future in which my own spawn makes some woman feel as voiceless as the boys in my school once did, a world in which he blithely argues against the existence of male privilege, that's because it doesn't exist, and shit talks the latest all-female remake on Twitter. You said kill all men on Twitter. Lately I can imagine it even more clearly. My first grade son, is sweet, sensitive and loving. Then why do you have the impression he's going to grow up in some kind of a monster that you then want to kill? When we talk about the fact that there are people in the world who don't think women are as good as men, yeah, poor kid. Just as there are people who think he is less valuable because of his brown skin, he angrily denounces those people as the worst. And yet my son loves Power Rangers except the pink and the yellow ones. He scoffs also at the pink Wonder Woman shirt I almost said skirt, he used to wear before he started school and began picking up gender stereotypes. Well, who bought him the pink Wonder Woman shirt and stuck it on him? And then you talk about gender stereotypes. And he's picking up gender stereotypes apparently like a communal cold. Anything to get away from her as far as I'm concerned. He seemed to enjoy a dance he was doing at school until he found out it was a ballet, which he shouted angrily he doesn't like. Well, if he doesn't like it, leave him alone. These may seem like small or harmless stereotypes, but to me, they're clear warning shots about who's doing the teaching around here, and it isn't me. Well, thank fuck for that, is what I'd say. It's the kid who told him that boys don't kiss boys so convincingly that none of my assurances that, yes, honey, they most certainly do. Well, yeah, no, they fucking don't. I never saw it in school. You're trying to teach them that boys should kiss boys. Is she one of those feminists who just specifically would love to have a gay son so she could, what, hammer on all the fucking neighbours' doors and boast and brag, look, I've got a gay one? Fuck. It's the sports he sees on TV, oh God, and the ones that the whole neighbourhood cheers for through our too close and poorly insulated walls. It's a part in nearly every music video we try to watch where the camera zooms in on bouncing objectified female body parts. I'll try and wrap this up as quickly as possible and miss out bits. Like I say, I'll pin the thing to the top in the comment section. It's which section of the store, she says, where we can find the Wonder Woman merchandise. It's the fact that there are sections at all. A brief look at that. I just clicked on a link to another story that she wrote, and don't worry, I'll keep this very brief. She went in some Walmart and she says here, that's a giant display of 16 freaking superhero t-shirts for girls. T-shirts reading things like, girls will rule the world. This is what she's subjecting her son to. And as previously noted, almost none of them are pink, so fucking what? First, I teared up with the surprise of it all. Second, I wish they came in my size, so she wants to wear a shirt that says girls rule the world. And third, I turned my head slowly towards my 5-year-old son. She sounds like Linda Blair spinning her head in The fucking Exorcist now, who apparently knew exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, he knows you well, because he automatically yelled out, I'm not wearing one. Well, good for the kid. Good for that 5-year-old son. Imagine him trying to fight off a feminist mother at his age, with his father not around because she's a single mother. Anyway, back to finish off her original article. And if it sounds like I'm angry, then, you know, some people don't like angry people like me, but fuck it, I'm furious. Anyway, she continues, children never fully belong to their parents. That's right, they don't. But apparently women think they do it in the divorce courts, of course. And she says, I started losing mine to the world of men years ago. Good, I'd say. He's 6 years old now. But years ago, when did she lose into the world of men? When he was 1, 2? My voice is strong, but what chance does it have against the chorus of voices ready to drown me out every time he steps out the front door or turns on the TV? Being told to raise a good man is, I'm getting bored of this. It's starting to feel like the devil is fucking. I'm dropping down now. Don't worry, I'll wrap up quickly now. I'm down to the last 2 paragraphs of the thing. Ultimately, for my son to become a good man, he needs more than a strong, take-no-shit feminist mother. Yeah, he needs a father. He needs to see her value reflected in the media. I almost said neglected. That would have been a Freudian slip. He needs to see her values, i.e. feminist values, reflected in the media. They are. In advertising, they are. The hatred of men is everywhere in the media, in pop culture, among his friends, and at school as well as at home. Yet why not add the workplace and politics, all feminized? Final paragraph, I'm not giving up. In fact, I'm this close to having a man-to-man real talk moment with a 6-year-old about how he should never masturbate in front of strangers or co-workers. He's a 6-year-old boy, woman. He isn't multiple Megs from Silence of the fucking Lambs who's just gunned Jodie Foster's hair with a handful of fucking spunk. Although if he ended up doing that, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. And she finishes by saying, but there's a whole screwed up culture to fix. Yeah, the feminist culture of which you're part. If we want raising good men to look like more than fighting a desperate battle for our boys, it seems to me like you're more fighting a battle against your boys than for them. I finished there. Fuck her, fuck this article, and fuck Huffington Post. Thank you if you've made it this far.